onye nke ezi omume gị ka iwe wezugara anyị ọrịa niile ọrịa niile nke pụrụ ịdakwasị mmadụ dị ndụ n'ihi na ọ bụ naanị gị bụ onye na-agwọ ọrịa ka anyị wee na-akpọkụ gị onwe gị bụ Chineke nke ndị agha ka iwe mere anyị ebere ka akwa nke anyị na-ebe ka ude nke anyị na-asụ wee bịa n'iru gị ka iwe mee ka Biafra wee guzosie ike ka anyị wee n'ikpete maazụ nye ha sọgotụtara nsọpụrụ na ịja mma site n'ebighị ebi ma ruo n'ebighị ebi ise mma dịrị gị Chineke mma dịrị gị Chineke mma dịrị gị Chineke.
Welcome, my amazing viewers. Thank you so much for joining me on my program once again. I appreciate you wherever you are joining from across the world. If you are joining me from Africa, Asia, Europe, America, or Australia, whichever part of the world where you are joining me from, I really do appreciate you. For those who have subscribed, thank you very much for your subscription. Please, each time you watch my video, go to the comment section and leave your comment. Express yourself, say your own views. Say it the way you feel it. Nobody's going to stop you. You can criticize if you so desire, but do it constructively so that we can learn from one another. And after watching the video, share to your friends and family. Share to every platform so that people will know our problem and know what the indigenous tribe in the country of Nigeria are facing. We are preaching peace here. We are not talking against anybody. We are not preaching hate speech. All we are saying is that live and let's live. We are not talking against anybody. But for those who have said we will not live, those who have said we will not have our life, they will not have theirs either. And we will not allow them to go scot-free. That is why we are here talking. And remember, we are on a prayer mode. If you have not joined the prayer that I was showing that I'm spilling the Mazin and the kind of have instructed us to pray, please join the prayer. Join the prayer. It is not late. It's not late. It's not late. You can join the prayer now and begin to pray as soon as Mazin and the kind. That is the only way you can connect to him. That is the only way you can hear from him closely. When you listen to the messages that is in his prayer, when you pray with him, he is going to speak with you. You can't be confused. There are a lot of confusions out there. There are a lot of distractions out there. People talking about irrelevant things. Instead of uniting together as one, fighting one cause, the only thing that is important in this very struggle is the freedom of Asuna Mazin Nandekano and the freedom of Biafra. Anything else, we are not interested. Don't put your ear in any gossip. Whoever is calling him or herself a saboteur, this is not even the time to face the saboteurs. Whoever have chosen to be a saboteur, let them be. Biafran spirit is up and the Biafran spirit is fighting for himself. The Biafran spirit is fighting for himself. Forget about the so-called saboteurs. Forget about them. Stop talking about them and focus. Talk about the freedom of the people. The freedom of the indigenous tribes in that country called Nigeria. Biafra freedom. The freedom of our spirit leader Mazin Nandekano. That is where we have to concentrate. This is not the time to talk of irrelevant things. Saboteurs are irrelevant. The spirit of Biafra is already taking care of them. Let us not be distracted. Let us not be distracted. Let us be focused and follow what is happening. As you can see, the insecurity is growing wider and wider. And the terrorists are becoming more bold and bold. The terrorists are no longer hiding. And the terrorist government itself, led by the late Muhammadu Buhari, being organized by the imposter that is there now, they are not even hiding their actions anymore. Whatever they are doing to actualize their Islamization and their Fulanization of Nigeria, they are doing it openly. It is no longer hidden. It is only the dumb ones in the southern part of Nigeria that are still sleeping and pretending it's all well. Those who are still pretending the southern part of Nigeria are still doing it out of their selfish interest, out of their wickedness, because of protecting the loot they have. Are you talking about the governors? The governors are still dancing with the Janjaweed because of their own interests. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. The terrorists are not even hiding anymore. It is now open. Mieti Allah, being the main organizers of the terrorists, the legitimate terrorists that have been involved in everything that's happening in Nigeria, Mieti Allah, they are bold more than ever. Their leader is even moving in convoy in Abuja with security. A terrorist government, a terrorist moving with security. A terrorist moving with security that is being paid with taxpayers' money. What does that tell you? Terrorism in Nigeria has now been legalized. They can come out in open and threaten someone. You can see the way the Mieti Allah are threatening Governor Samuel Otom. Threatening to kill Governor Samuel Otom because he spoke the right thing, because he called them by their name and told the government what they are. Because he spoke the truth about what is going on. They are calling for the death of Governor Samuel Oto. Even they are being proud that after Governor Samuel Oto have finished as his governor, that they will use their security to arrest him. That is how bold the terrorists have become in Nigeria. That once Governor Samuel Oto is out of power, that they are going to arrest him with their security. That is what Mieti Allah is saying through their spokesperson, openly saying it. What does that show you? That the terrorists are bold now because they are in charge. When someone came on national television, a chief security officer, an insider, a secret security officer came out on national television to tell you that there are people who are in this government who feel that the Nigeria should be Islamized. You think it was a joke. Some people thought it was ranting. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu have been crying about this. You call it a joke, and today you can now hear it directly from people who are inside. After hearing that information, maybe you have forgotten. I'll play it short again for you to remember.
It's not about sentiments. It's that there are a group of people in this country that feels that this country should be Islamized. This is a fact. I say you want me to start mentioning names of people in this government that we have interrogated. I was a member of an interrogation team, and I've interrogated a very high-ranking member of this government in 2007, 2008 on issue of Boko Haram. I interrogated him. He's in this government right now. And what was the issue? Boko Haram. And this senior officer was actually let go because he was found culpable. But right now he's in the government. You see, we must say the truth, because if you don't, this country is going down the precipice. We have been set back more than 60 years right now. We've gone back to the time before 1966 now. And whoever is coming back to repair this country has a lot of work to do. This country has never been polarized, so we cannot run away from it. We have never been this much polarized. I'm a federal person. My mind is federal. My brain is federal. My loyalty is federal. I do things for the federal government. So I cannot come here and try to be sentimental. No, I'm a federal person.
So will your life be at risk now that they're hearing you?
I don't care. I don't care. And my colleagues, they know me. Those people that listen to me, they know me. I don't care. The issue is that this country is bigger than an individual. That is the issue. This country is bigger than individuals. Buhari will come and go. Eliminating me or killing me will not solve the problem and will not add value. But he will come and go. And somebody must come and repair the damage to the psyche of this society, the damage to the polarization, to the nepotism that I've never seen in my life. I work with all these presidents. This is the worst situation I've found myself. And believe me, internet does not forget. I was part of the people that helped to bring Buhari to government because I believe in him.
Have you worked with the government after that?
After
you helped bring the government?
Oh, of course, I worked with him. We brought him in 2015, and I work as the Deputy Director of Defense Administration. And we have a lot of hope in him. And we actually are ready to do anything for him. What he has turned out over the years is shocking to us. I was in Harvard in 2014, in December, when the Department of State Services and CIA and others were contemplating about Buhari and other aspirants. I know what we did to convince the American government that the only person that can come and put this country right is Buhari. That was before the Lagos, APC, before they chose within.
Right.
And that was how Tinubu came in. We know what we did, but what he has done in the past 6 years is shocking. It's unprecedented. And it should not be allowed to be swept under the carpet, because the damage to the psyche of this country is monumental.
After hearing this, and you are still closing your ears, you are still pretending, especially people from the southern part of Nigeria, Christians from the southern part of Nigeria, or other religions from the southern part of Nigeria. It doesn't even matter your religion. So long you are from the southern part of Nigeria and you're a well-meaning person, you're not waking up. You don't know what is coming. I'm sorry for you. You're going to pay dearly. Look at Afghanistan. Even those who are Muslims are running away from their country because a caliphate want to be established. Is having a caliphate a good thing, and half of the country is running away. Almost all the people of the country are looking for a place to run to. Is that a good government? Is that something good? With somebody, can you put sugar into somebody's mouth and you speak it out? That is to show you what is about to happen in the northern part of Nigeria. What is about to happen. For the capturing, they have captured the northern part of Nigeria already. And they are bold to speak. They don't hide anymore. They act in the public. They do whatever they want to do in the public. They have succeeded in putting their people in strategic places. In strategic places in Nigeria, you will only find the Fulani Muslims. You will only find them in strategic places, the Fulani Muslims, pushing their Fulanization agenda and pushing the Islamization of Nigeria with their own kind of Islam. This is a problem that is coming, and people are pretending as if nothing is happening. A lot is happening, and more is going to happen. And more is going to happen. Even so many people who are supporting this devilish government have had their own portion of it. There was one man, a senator, that he saw, I think one of the senators, that his son was killed by bandits. This is someone who was supporting Buhari and said people should not blame Buhari for insecurity. Finally, it has caught up with him. His own son was murdered. His own son was murdered. Today he has no voice again. Let him come and continue to say nobody should blame Buhari. The same thing is going to happen to everybody in the southern part of Nigeria still supporting this evil that is coming. You don't want to go and ally yourself with the Biafrans. You don't want to go ally yourself with the Duduans. You don't want to ally yourself with people who are fighting a just cause. Wait for it. You will pay with your own life. Before you know it, it's going to happen to you. It is definite that it's going to happen to you. Nobody can escape it. It doesn't matter how you try. It doesn't matter how you try to do it. You cannot escape it. Governor Samuel Oto, I wish that every other governor would be speaking like him. Even while that man is trying his possible best to make sure that he woke people up and tell people what is about to happen. Yet you will still see some people playing to the gallery. People like that senator who was supporting Buhari that later lost his son a few days ago. They killed his own son. There is somebody again who is talking against Governor Samuel Oto. Because Governor Samuel Oton is calling out the presidency of his complicity in the killings in Nigeria, in support for the terrorism in Nigeria, which is obvious. Everybody is seeing it, though they are silent. Only one person who is bold to talk, they are coming to stand against him. Hear what somebody is saying against an innocent man who is saying the truth. These are people who are pushing lie. And I pray Chukwu Okike Abiyama will allow his own son or his own family to be the next victim. Let's hear from the man.
We are outraged by Governor Samuel Oton's manner of approach to Mr. President, which is devoid of simple decency and respect required of a younger person, both in age and official government hierarchy. Democracy or no democracy, the hallmark of values in Africa, and particularly in Nigeria, are hinged on respect for age and authority. Many other governors in Nigeria are affected by various cases of insecurity, but none has ever used such uncouth, belligerent, and provocative language to insult our president or cast aspersion on his government and integrity. We are ashamed to be identified as Benue State citizens, where its governor speaks in gutter language like a tout and has no respect to superior authorities. We train children to seek honor and imbibe egalitarian values in which the dignity of individuals, older or younger, are respected. We cannot tolerate such rude, irresponsible, and uncivilized acts from the leadership of our state. Hence, we condemn it totally. It is most disturbing that President Muhammadu Buhari has never publicly insulted or undermined the office and person of the governor of Benue State, or any other state for that matter. Talk less of joining issues with Governor Otom's postulation about his instant amalgamation of Nigeria. As far as we know, the President has delivered on his obligations to the governor and people of Benue State by ensuring regular and prompt releases of states and local government monthly federation allocations, all which amount to about 500 billion naira since Otom's assumption of office as governor on the 29th of May 2015.
After hearing from this fool, you can see these are the kind of people you have in power. The Fulani Janjaweed have succeeded in planting their people in every strategic place in that country called Nigeria. And you are telling me that they cannot Fulanize you, they cannot Islamize you. You are just joking. If you just say like that and you fold your hand, you better go and begin to equip yourself the best way you can. Begin to prepare for self-defense the best way you can. There is nothing else that will save you except that self-defense. That is what will save you. Because when you come to their law court, they have already hijacked the judiciary. If you go to the Senate is in their pocket. There is nothing that can be decided there except they want it. The presidency is in their hand. You come to the defense, they are in charge of the defense. Everything in that country called Nigeria is in their hands. What else do you have? The only thing you have as somebody from the southern is to defend yourself. Self-defense is the only thing you have. Do not wait on your governors, because already the governors are in the pocket of this very Janjaweed. Remember, they said that they are going to enact the grazing law September 1st. September 1st is here already. Let us see what is going to play out. The Buhari have already made it clear that he is not interested in whether he is still pushing open grazing, even when everybody is shouting, including some people in the northern part of Nigeria, saying that they don't want the open grazing. The government in power, the Fulani government in power, showing you that this is a terrorist that is in charge of Nigeria. Open, broad daylight terrorists who doesn't care what you think or what you feel. They are not even hiding it. He is still talking about open grazing by force, by fire. He has even enacted a group to go and enforce open grazing in 21st century, where people are talking of ranching. Open grazing will not even increase your cow. It will not make your cow to be healthy. It will make the cow to have a good increase. It will not even be healthy. It's not even healthy for the header himself to trek from the north to the east. It's not an easy thing. Yet somebody is pushing it. What do you think is the agenda? Fulanization and Islamization. And some people are sitting down thinking it's a joke. Wait. Continue to call it a joke, not until when you will find yourself in your grave. Maybe then you will be there listening to the national anthem of Biafra and national anthem of Oduduwa. If there's a chance for you to reincarnate again in your next world, you will know the right thing to do. But for those of us who are awake already, no inch of Biafra land will be given to the Fulani Janjaweed, and we will be alive to walk into Biafra with our food and celebrate. It doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter what they say. We will continue to say it the way it is. Even though they are trying by all means possible to change the narrative, that is what we are doing here. That is why we are on social media, to say it the way it is. Every lie that they bring, we destroy the lie and say the truth, put it straight. You can see the terrorists they have. The government in power have decided to rename the terrorists with different kinds of name. The terrorists, they have renamed them. Now they started telling us that the terrorists have surrendered, that they are surrendered, they are coming into town, not knowing that they reached a secret agreement with these people to implement every of their requirements, including shutting down of schools. As we speak, thousands of schools in the north are shut down. Those that are open are being threatened, and their students are being kidnapped. Government is not doing anything about it. More schools are shutting down, and they are welcoming the Boko Haram members into the society, giving them incentive, giving them free hand. People who have killed and maimed people, commanders of Boko Haram. Yet people are going about their businesses as if nothing's happened. If you really love your life, you better join the sit at home that Melafia is calling for. The 1 week sit at home that the Melafia is calling for, go and join the 1 week sit at home. It doesn't matter your tribe. It doesn't matter your tribe. So long you are a Christian, more especially people from the southern part of Nigeria, join the sit at home. Should shut down the nation to save your life. There is no time. These people are playing a lot of game. In their media, they rename Boko Haram. They are calling them bandits. They gave them the name of bandits so that people will take away their eyes from them. The bandits that have power to shoot down an aircraft. Bandits that are more equipped more than your military. Bandits that are abducted on daily basis. People are paying billions to these people. Nothing's been done. Even a sheikh is coming to stand for them. A sheikh who you know is a supporter of the terrorists, who is a supporter of the Taliban, supporter of all things that are evil, is coming to negotiate for them and tell people to grant them amnesty to join the city. Trying to tell us that they are more innocent than those who are asking for their rights. Telling us that they are more legitimate than the members of IPOB who are asking for their rights. This is where we find ourselves. And it's not going to get better any soon. They rename them bandits. These are terrorists. Now they rename them unknown gunmen. We have been shouting that the unknown gunmen are members of DSS. Today, the secret is out. You can see many things that is happening, showing how they organize their secret agents to go and play unknown gunmen, unknown soldiers. We have heard about unknown plane, unknown jet fighter shooting people in the riverine area in the Biafra land. They said it's unknown jet fighter shooting people, innocent people, innocent passengers who are in their kin. This is the strategy of the government. They renamed them unknown gunmen. Today, they have gone to the NDA to attack NDA. They are calling them unknown gunmen. More dramas is coming. You have to wake up before it is too late. Our Supreme Leader Mazen Nandekano have done everything he has to do for you and I. Wake up. Watch this very program I'm going to show with you now to see what your government is doing, what they are doing to support the terrorists, renaming them on different. Instead of saying things the way it is, they are still playing to the gallery. Watch this video.
All right, welcome back. Well, we're turning attention now to Zamfara. So we've got Ahmed Maraduk, former commissioner for Commerce, Zamfara State, joining us via Zoom. Good morning. Thank you for joining us today on the program. We also do have Abdullahi Shinkafi, who is the Honorable Special Advisor on Intergovernmental Affairs to the Zamfara State Governor. Good morning, gentlemen. Thank you for joining us today. Well, Honorable Shinkafi, let me start with you. Listening to the governor there, first, when he spoke about his thinking, suggestion that there should be a state of emergency declared in northern Nigeria, what do you think of that? I mean, how is that? I mean, do you see that as a solution that will address these concerns?
Well, the issue of insecurity in northern Nigeria is highly alarming, and it's not in doubt. In Nigeria, the issue of security, the issue of insecurity is going at the galloping rate, and there is need for total military action in the northern Nigeria to fight crime and criminalities, and to flush out the sponsors of these criminals in the northern Nigeria. Not even in the northern Nigeria. The issue of insecurity in Nigeria is a national phenomenon. In the west, in the south, even in the north. So, but if you look at the situation in the northwest, we are highly concerned or bothered by the issue of armed banditry, which Zamfara is not an exception. And if you look at the north central issue of armed bandit, herdsmen and farmers clashes, and so even religious crisis in the heart of Jos. So when you look at the northeast, the issue of insurgency is there for the past 12 years, Boko Haram insurgency. So the call by the Zamfara State governor, Dr. Bello Matol, is long overdue. With the present situation we're having in the northwest, there is serious escalation and suppression of armed banditry activities across the region. So I think the call for declaration of the state of emergency and development of more military forces, air force, and the military, and even some police to curtail the issue of criminality in the Zamfara state.
Okay, I'll bring you Mr. Maradun. Honorable Shinkafa, just a moment. I'll bring you Mr. Maradun, but I need to follow up on something you said and perhaps get more clarification, because it's been a major discussion, and it's a talk about armed bandits. A lot of people, security experts, will say that giving them that tag is quite tricky. It doesn't quite address the problem. How about call them terrorists, so they are viewed from that light and action is taken from that light? How did, the region or the state come about the term bandits? Is that what they really are? What informed that kind of tag and not terrorists?
Are you talking to me?
Yes, Honorable Shikafi, that's for you. Follow up on, you've used the term armed bandits.
Yes, the issue of armed banditry, the issue of the armed banditry, it is the term which was generally classified those group of criminals that involve kidnapping, cattle rustling, and armed robbery, and collection of ransom from the relation of the captors and the ransom of the victim of the kidnapped victims. So why I cannot classify them terrorists? There was not any proclamation from the federal government that declared them terrorists. But if you look at even the general language given or declared by the federal government on Boko Haram, they were declared terrorists, and that was the general name. But on this issue of armed banditry, I take you back to the history. It was the beginning of this armed banditry started from herdsmen and farmers clashes, and then turned to rural banditry on cattle rustling, and now metaphors to kidnapping, killings, and the collection of ransom. So I cannot precisely declare them or prescribe them terrorists, but all I know, they are the gangs of criminals, and they were committing a crime against the innocent people in the Northwest. So okay, that's it.
Let me begin with Mr. Maradun now, just to at least weigh on that, and then we'll widen the conversation. So, Mr. Maradun, people say the name you give a thing or group is quite important. And it's from a name you approach anything. So, regarding this term or tag, bandits, armed bandits, marauders, kidnappers, do you think the tag that has been given so far, which is bandits, has helped solve the problem largely? Or do you think it should be escalated beyond that?
Before I answer that question, let me respond, maybe shed some light to the call for the state of emergency by His Excellency the State Executive Governor of the Zamfara State. I want to believe that it is a step forward for the Executive Governor, Bello Motowale, to call for state of emergency, because this is a government that has been in perpetual denial of the gravity of the situation we are. But now that they have agreed that the situation has reached that stage, I think it's a sort of a step forward. But what I only have some reservation is, why declaring state of emergency for the whole northern Nigeria? It is not all the states in the northern Nigeria that are facing the difficulties and problems we are facing in the same magnitude with the Zamfara State. So I think I would rather suggest that His Excellency should speak for his own state and his own government, and allow other governors to speak for their own state. Then, about the issue of naming, tagging the name, whether they are called herders, bandits, or terrorists, of course, it has some implications. But I think it is not the issue of name that matters. What are they doing, and how are they supposed to be treated? That's all. This issue of that is misleading intent in calling them hardest farmers clash now. Yes, I agree. Historically, there is connection between Hada farmers clash with what metamorphosized to today level of banditry and incessant killings of innocent citizens. But it is no longer a farmer-Hada clash. It's a pure criminality, and it should be treated as such. Whether they are terrorists or not, we need them flushed out of our land. We need peace. That's all we want. And I think if calling them terrorists is the only way that the federal government can come in and intervene properly and flush them out, let them be called terrorists. Are they not terrorists? What are the terrorists doing that they are not doing? There is nothing. The only difference between them and terrorists is that the terrorists claim to be maybe promoting certain ideology or religion falsely. Of course, falsely. But as far as the kidding and kidnapping, raping is concerned, these people are worse than the Boko Haram. Presently, as I'm talking to you.
So you think
day in, day out.
So you think that the bandits should be named terrorists and be approached as such?
Whether they are named terrorists or not, they should be treated as criminals as they are. They may be even worse than the terrorists. They may be worse than the terrorists because when the terrorists come, sometimes some of them will claim to be trying to convince you for their own ideology. They may not kill you. But these people, they come, they will start killing, kidnapping for ransom, and raping women. What they are doing is worse than the terrorists. So let them be flushed. That is all we want. Forget about all these rhetorics, all this target. It is not important to us. I'm a mathematician. When you call something an X or call it Y, it doesn't matter. What matters is what are you going to process with the X, Y? That's all.
Well, I guess you being a mathematician, I mean, will definitely influence how you see things. But from the security perspective, the name is quite important, even for prosecution, profiling, and the rest. It is very important. But let me take this back to Honorable Shinkafi. So the conversation around the state of emergency, well, Mr. Maradon believes that it should be just for Zamfara State and not the whole northern region, that perhaps is taking it too far. But some will also ask that what will happen in a state of emergency that we have not quite seen already? Are we going to get more men recruited into the military? Because, I mean, the military is already in the theater of war as it seems right now. So what more will happen in a state of emergency?
Well, you see, what the Maradon was trying to say on the issue of state of emergency, maybe it's not conversant with what is happening across the northern Nigeria. If you look at what is happening in the northwest share border with Niger State, Kebbi State, Sokoto State, Katsina State, and Kaduna State, and most of these armed bandits have been hiding in these forests in their various camps within the neighborhood of Zamfara State. So some of these bandits will perpetrate crime and criminality in Zamfara and run away to Niger State or Kaduna State or Kebbi State or Katsina State, even part of the Niger Republic. So the call for declaration of state of emergency cannot only be in Zamfara. The call which the governor of Zamfara State, Dr. Bello Maradon, made for declaration of state of emergency is not overdue. We should not be hiding. We should tell ourselves the truth. There is no doubt about it. The security situation is highly alarming in Nigeria, in the northern Nigeria. So what we're trying to say, the issue of armed banditry was inherited by Governor Bello Matoile. It was not Bello Matoile who is the architect of this armed banditry. Armed banditry was in existence for the first 7 to 8 years of the past administration. And because of the maladministration of the last administration, and he didn't treat it with the iron hand, and it has come to become out of hand, and it has escalated beyond Zamfara State and up to the neighbors.
I'd like us to stay on this really, because if you say, if I could just come in for a moment, pardon me. So I'd like us to stay on your point, saying that it's for the northern region that it's fit. Are you saying it should be declared in Kano, in Bauchi, for example, and some?
No. You see, like in Kano, they are not having the same problem we're having in Zamfara State, but they are having on an issue of the kidnapping. Not on the way it was in the higher rate in Zamfara State. But what we're saying, even in Zamfara State, if you look at the northern, as I have told you, even in the northeast, the issue of insecurity, the ratio or the higher rate of insecurity differentiate from Maiduguri, Yobe, and other part of the northern state. So likewise in the northwest, the issue of armed banditry, it is not as it is in Kano or in Jigawa. It is in the minimal level. But this Niger State, Kaduna State, Kebbi State, Sokoto State, and Zamfara State in particular, which is like the epicenter of the armed banditry, because of the last administration, there is conspiracy of silence. The former administration refused to do anything and decided to be mute. It is on record. In the history of Nigeria, it is only in Zamfara State the former governor resigned as the chief security officer of the state, but continued to collect security boards. So it is on this ground, because of the negligence and maladministration of the past administration, and now turned Zamfara to epicenter of armed banditry. And the governor has nothing to rely on is to call for declaration of state of emergency. We need heavy military presence. The military presence is not quite enough to fight these criminals in the soil of Zamfara State. Because more than 22 armed bandit camp in Zamfara State. So they need to be flushed out.
All right, Mr. Maradu, having heard what Mr. Shinkafi has said, does that shed some light on the challenges and perhaps possible ray of hope, having identified what the problems are, if you agree that those are the concerns?
Actually, yes. One good thing is that even Honorable Shinkafi has some, in a way, agreed with me that the suggestion of His Excellency that the state of emergency should be declared in the whole northern Nigeria is a faulty. At least he has some exceptions, that he accepts the fact that the case of Zamfara cannot and should not be applied to Kano, Jigawa, and Yobe, even Yobe, because they have come out of the level of the Boko Haram. We are now worse than Yobe. You cannot even apply the same thing to Bauchi and many other states in the northern Nigeria. What I'm saying is that this issue should be holistically approached. It should be. Each particular state has its own particular problem. So the issue is that I don't want to believe that we at the Zamfara can sit down and decide what will happen in Kano, or what will happen in Bauchi, or what will happen in Yobe, or what even will happen in Kebbi. We know our problem. Let us tell our problem and accept it. Secondly, he accepted the fact that Zamfara is the epicenter of the problem. So that justifies the call for a state of emergency by His Excellency, the elected governor. But that cannot justify the same call for Kano State and Jigawa, because they are not the epicenter. In fact, their case is very minimum, and I think it's losing control. Another thing which I observed is that, which is not new to me, but it may be new to our audience. Honorable Shinkafi has started his job, which they have been doing for the past 2 years. Instead of addressing the issue, they will be attacking past government has done this, past government has done that. The past government has done this and have done that. You came here with the pretense that you can correct the mistake. For the 2 years, you have only been repeating the same. I think I will suggest that we should forget about that one. Let us focus on the issue and suggest the way out. Repeating that it has happened 7 years or this one, I think that will not. In fact, let me even refer you to a lot of write-ups by Professor Sadiq Abubakar of the Ibu Zaria. When you go there, you will see the history of banditry. It didn't start during the administration of Abdulaziz Yari Abubakar. Even recently, Yerima granted an interview. He made mention that banditry was around even during his own time. So please, let us stop that blame game and focus on the solution. I think that is what our people need, not the blame game.
Let me come to you, Honorable Shinkafi, and ask you what you make of the suggestions before now, instead of this state of emergency, that the governors of the Northwest need to come together and find a way to flush out the bandits, is the term you decided to use, the bandits from the forest. Before now, there had been concerted efforts on the part of the governors of the Northwest to secure the forests in the region, and that has yielded results. But in recent times, that has not been able to happen again, owing to a lack of cooperation amongst the governors of the Northwest. Would you say that all avenues have been exhausted before this call for a state of emergency?
Well, you see, the call for the state of emergency by His Excellency Executive Governor of Zamfara State, Dr. Bello Motola Maradu, it is just a part of the segment of the press conference he made. There was a 7 proactive measures. He came on board with it. He came with 7 proactive security measures to be used in tackling this armed banditry in Zamfara State. One of the proactive measures he came up with is for no sale of petroleum in Jarkam. All filling stations close to the border are banned from selling petrol. All motorcyclists, that is the motorcycle operators, can only operate from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. in Gusau Metropolis, in the state capital. Then outside the Gusau Metropolis, 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Then another also measures, all livestock market, all sales, transportation of livestock in and outside the state are banned. All the weekly markets are all banned in the state. Then all no filling station is allowed to sell petrol to commercial vehicle more than 10,000 naira. And also the government is trying to come out with a civilian JTF to see how they can flush out these criminals. And the governor also met with service chiefs and met with Mr. President, trying to appeal to Mr. President.
My good sir, you're not quite addressing the question I have posed to you. I mean, first and foremost, you say that the measures which the governor have come up with are proactive. Some people will say no, they are reactive. The situation in Zamfara is such that is given, cause for concern, and what he's trying to do is ensure that somehow he's able to limit the attacks. That cannot be termed proactive. That's one. The second is, I'm talking about cooperation with other governors. Of cooperating with other governors, as was the case before now? That's the question I posed to you, sir.
No, I understood your question, but I'm trying to make a background of the questions. What I'm trying to tell you, the cooperation between the Northwestern governors is still intact, because the issue of security is everybody's business. On several occasions, the governors of Northwest have met under the leadership of the Katsina State Governor, Honorable Aminu Masari, and all the Northwest governors met in Kaduna and come out with the modalities how they are going to tackle this issue of armed banditry. And the cooperation is on, and they try to put all hands on deck to make sure that they have a cooperation and synergy to fight out these criminals and fight crime and criminality. So it is in force, but they have started for, I think, a few years ago. Then some of the governors refused to donate some money for the net contribution for funding of the operation logistics. But I think with the situation we have at hand, they now come back and they're now trying to reunite and come out with another plans how to fight this thing. It's enforced, and the cooperation is still intact.
But I guess we'll wait to see whether the cooperation is really intact. But in terms of the measures which he's put in place right now, what has the by citizens? Because of course what you're trying to stop is illegitimate business and finding a way to fund the bandits. However, this is also going to affect legitimate businesses. Has there been a way to find how to balance the two? So for instance, when you say stopping weekly markets, stopping the number of markets or limiting the use of motorcycles, I mean, are there other options, and are there ways to also mitigate the effect of these measures on those citizens who are just trying to go about the legitimate business?
You see, most of the logistics supplied to the armed bandit camps bought their foodstuffs from this weekly market to the armed bandit camp, and most of this market, especially the livestock market, is weekly market, like in Shinkapi, Ensado, Mafara, Magami, Jangebe, and other part of the state. This main livestock market is where the bandit come and sell the cattle, the hostel for innocent citizens. So stopping the transportation of livestock, I think it will reduce the cattle rustling to the barest minimal level. And the issue of the use of motorcycle. Motorcycle is one of the major transportation system they use in perpetrating this crime. So the use of motorcycle was restricted from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. in the Gusau metropolis, that in the state capital, and also 6 a.m. from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. outside the state capital in the local government area. So the issue of affecting the legitimacy of other businesses does not arise. This issue of security is everybody's business. When the federal government now made some restriction on COVID-19, religious centers were even closed down, markets were closed down, mosques and churches were closed down. So on this issue of security, I want you to bear in mind, a lot of lives were lost. Property worth billions of naira were destroyed by this armed bandit. And a lot of money were paid, a ransom was paid in billions. So this is a hard time for the citizens of this state to cooperate with the government to make sure that peace is restored in Zamfara state. It's not in doubt.
Let me quickly ask Honorable Maradun what he makes of these measures, whether he thinks that they're going to be very effective. Honorable Maradun, if you can do this in about a minute, it will be very helpful.
Before I go on to that measures, let me maybe talk a bit about the cooperation between those Western governors. Of course, there should be some a level of cooperation between them. I can recall in one interview granted by the Kaduna State Governor, he vividly and eloquently stated the kind of cooperation they are having. Particularly, he mentioned Niger State, they exchange intelligence and whatever. And also, both the Kaduna State Governor and of course, even the chairman of the Northwestern Governors Forum, Right Honorable Amingu Bello Masari of Katsina State, and recently the Governor of Niger State, have been complaining about the influx of the bandits from the side of the Zamfara state. So one will wonder, what is wrong? What is wrong with the cooperation? How? What happened? But the crux of the matter is that even among the governors there is this, what I can, if you can allow me to call it, some ideological difference. They belong to two different schools of thought as far as how to deal with the banditry is concerned in the past. While in our state, our government believes that dialogue with the bandits pays. Many of the state governors did not accept that. And I think this is too fundamental to say that there is the required cooperation between the two, between the North State governors and the governments. So what I would rather suggest is that let the federal government intervene let the federal government come and lead the states that are affected, particularly the northwestern states, so that they can have a common front on how to deal and end this problem. I think that will be better. There should be a moderator, because when there are two different views, then a moderator is required to harmonize the view, so that
just quickly, I mean,
peace will be attained.
We're already out of time, but I want to quickly ask you if you think the measures he's put in place will work.
You see, no right-thinking individual will question the measures, any measure taken by the government, so long as it is aimed at bringing about security in the citizens, to the citizens. But I want us to know that the issue of security is very delicate and require much more delicate measures, because a slight mistake may tilt the balance to the other side. These measures, if I can suggest, should be reviewed, because they were once taken before, and I don't want to believe that the way and manner it was hastily proclaimed, enough diagnosis has been done on them. I don't want the situation whereby the ecosystem will be made tense to such a way that even the law-abiding citizens will feel pressurized.
All right, Mr. Ahmed Maradon, we do thank you very much indeed. We have to go at.
After watching this video, if you are not yet convinced, wait for your death. If you are not yet convinced, wait for your death. Definitely, you will be convinced in your grave. May Chukwu Kakabiama continue to bless us from the Masin Nandikano. May Chukwu Kakabiama continue to strengthen us from the Masin Nandikano. May Chukwu Kakabiama continue to give Masin Nandikano more wisdom, more strength wherever he give him good health. Give him more revelation so that he can continue to lead us until we get to the promised land. No woman, no man born of a woman can stop us from the Masin Nandikano from coming out from detention and taking us into Biafra. Very, very soon he will come out and we will celebrate together. Thank you so much for watching. I remember blessed. Bye-bye. See you again on the next video.